My name is Chad Hart. I'm an extension economist at Iowa State University. And here we sit in the middle of June. Planting is mostly done, and USDA has given us their first update this month on what we're seeing in terms of the 2024 crops. We'll get another update at the end of the month as they do their acreage report, which is basically as they surveyed farmers at the beginning of this month, learning just how much corn and soybeans was planted across the country. But as we look at the situation today here in mid-June, what we are seeing is, um, let's call it a continuation of the trends that USDA has been sort of outlining for us over the past couple of months. In fact, in the June WASDE report, there was only one real substantive change as you looked at the supply and use tables for both corn and soybeans, and that was a small adjustment as we're looking at the soybean crush. So as we're looking at the 2024 crops right now, on the corn side, what we are again seeing is the expectation that farmers are planting less corn, roughly around 90 million acres, yield of 181 bushels per acre, which would put us at 14.86 billion bushels of corn as we look out towards next fall. When we look on the usage side, they're saying that we're going to see growth sort of across the board here on the feed side and export side, but that growth is not going to be quite big enough to use up all that supply. Total usage of 14.8 billion bushels. So USDA continues to see building ending stocks and lower prices. They maintain that season average price out there for corn at $4.40 a bushel. As we look at the soybean market, here's where we're expecting acreage to increase here when we get that June report, up to about 86.5 million acres. Trendline yield of 52 would put us at a fairly strong 4.45 billion bushels of soybeans being grown this coming year. So again, plenty of supplies to work with. Now, we did see USDA, like I say, they adjusted the 2023 soybean crush down by 10 million bushels. So it knocked that down to 2.29 billion. But as we're looking forward for 2024, they do see continued growth actually in soybean crush, mainly being driven by biofuels. But as we look overall in terms of that usage, again, total use at 14.36 billion bushels, that's still below what we're producing. So we, again, the trend is building ending stocks as we look out there and lowering of prices. And USDA maintains that lower price of $11.20 a bushel as we look at 2024. So those numbers, like I say, they did not change realistically from where we've been over the last couple of months. I think the big thing to look forward to here, like I say, is the June acreage report, though, because as we think about where acreage was sat when we look back at the March planting intentions report, it came in with a total number across the major 20 principal crops that we grow here within the U.S. of 313 million acres, which is down about 6 million from what we covered in 2023. And so one of the first things we're trying to assess within the marketplace right now is, if you will, where those 6 million acres went. If they're not in crop production, or if they're going to be in crop production, where are they going to show up? And so I think that's something that the market is continuing to pay attention to as we move through the latter half of June here. The other thing we're looking at, though, is that we have seen an improvement in moisture conditions throughout most of the country. That has led to at least the initial crop ratings for corn and soybeans being well above where they were at this time last year. Right now, if you look at the crop progress report that USDA has, it says that basically 74% of the corn and 72% of the soybeans are rated good to excellent right now nationwide. That's up for both crops about 13 percentage points from this time last year. So we have seen these better moisture conditions translating into better crop conditions as we look out there, and that's weighing down a little bit on prices as well. When you look at the world supply situation, USDA made, again, very few adjustments and no big adjustments when it comes to the South American crops. They maintained the numbers for both Argentina and Brazil there. We did see overall world corn supplies bumped up just a slight bit here, and most of that adjustment was seen coming out of the Ukraine. When you're looking at the soybean side, basically no adjustments whatsoever when we look at the big numbers globally across the board. So again, it was very minor changes as we looked at what the June WASDE report sort of gave us. So as we look at pricing, let's say prices didn't have to move that much, given that there wasn't a lot to react to with the June WASDE report. As we look at where corn futures settled out after the report, you can see here as we look towards December 2024 futures, they're weighing in just under $4.70 a bushel. When you take these futures prices, put an average basis to them, it points to a 2024/25 season average price of around $4.60 a bushel, which is 20 cents better than where USDA is at right now. So again, the markets are still maintaining a little bit of a weather premium in here for the corn market. And you can see that they're maintaining that not only for the 2024 crop, but we can see that built into the estimates that we're starting to see for 2025 as well, where it's pricing in at around a 470 average on the corn. When you're looking at soybeans, it's right in line. Futures markets are right in line with where USDA is at right now. That season average price sitting right at 11.20. You can see November soybean futures here weighing in at just under 11.50. But where the corn has some building up as we look towards the 2025 crop. Here's where soybeans is still getting ready to take possibly another step back there. You do see flatter prices as we look further out there. And you sort of saw that actually in the movement of prices today, June 12th on the markets. Corn was able to put in a positive day, and that positivity extended all the way up to the 2026 crop. Soybeans, we took a little off, and that was true again, took a little off for 25/26 as well. And so as you look overall at where pricing is weighing in right now, arguably it's around our Iowa production cost estimates. Early in the year, our Iowa State production cost estimates came out at basically 460 for corn and 1125 for soybeans, and that's roughly where the markets are today. So welcome back to break even as we look out there. Well, that summarizes what we've seen, at least thus far here in June, as we look at the 2024 crops. Like I say, probably do another update here in a couple of weeks once USDA releases the acreage report and we see just how much land got planted to corn and soybeans this year, which will definitely update what we're seeing on the supply side in terms of bushels we're going to have to sell. And we'll have a couple more weeks of especially at least the export sales to look over, along with what's happening within the biofuel market to help shape what we're seeing in terms of corn usage. Again, my name is Chad Hart, Extension Economist at Iowa State University. Thank you for your time.